a consulting sure that is making correct decisions and the combination that which is going to deliver to the expectations of the Zambian people. So when you ask about excitement, along the way to where we are today, we have had a lot of people die. Along the way to where we are today, we have had a lot of people maimed and become lame. Along the way to where we are today, others who are just being discharged from UTH, who were shot by the constituency youth chairman in a Chawama constituency, operated upon, cut almost halfway through. So we have had a lot of severe uncalming experiences that which would unsettle a lot of Zambian people if at all they were able to experience and see them. So the levels of excitement are nowhere near. We want to walk the talk. The promises that which we made, I do believe and I'm convinced beyond reasonable doubt that there are many. That being the case, we want to make sure that we are the true ambassadors of what we spoke and the deliberations, the submissions we got from the citizens across the country. I'm privileged to be one of the few youths in this party that has given unwavering service of 19 years. And in that service, I've also been to jail for 1 year, 6 months. And I'm privileged to have been to all the 10 provinces of Zambia, gotten submissions and expectations of the youths across the country from districts. So we are, as youths of this country, willing and able to write our destiny.
So, like you've put it, you've been to all the 10 provinces and all the districts. During campaigns, you almost touched near each and every part of this country. And you said the promises are many. My question, what is it that is in there in the new dawn administration of President Double H for the young people in this country?
The expectations of the youths are many, as I earlier on alluded. And when you are to say what is there for the youths, the United Party for National Development promised the youths of this country real jobs, sustainable jobs, not jobs of only pieceworks where one works for the Chinese. And the United Party for National Development promised that we shall review the awarding of contracts to the citizens to make sure that the larger chunk of these contracts, rather than it being a theoretical approach, but a practical approach where the citizens are going to benefit from the works and the contractual obligations across the country. The United Party for National Development, where we are, we have promised the farmers that the fertilizer prices ought to be reduced with immediate effect. The United Party for National Development promised free education to all Zambians from grade 1 to grade 12. And we are sitting, believing, convinced that all we have said will be fulfilled with the help of Zambians. Remember, sir, before you ask me another question, it's one thing to elect a president. It's another thing to support that president. Most people think and believe that they are convinced that they elected the president. They have got no further duty to advise, to also suggest or make further recommendations. As a country, we are looking forward to work in a united manner to foster the much needed development.
I'm happy that you've mentioned the issue of awarding contracts. President Double H has put it on record that as long as you are a Zambian, as long as you have the qualifications, jobs or empowerments will be given to you. The PF administration or government was giving 20% to local contractors. Indigenous Zambians were given 20%. Is it not a good thing? They've already achieved. Zambians were given 20% in the construction sector.
Well, it is one thing to be told that you are being given 20%, and yet even that 20%, even when you do it, you are not paid. In certain other instances, the very government that which gave you that contract decides to threaten you by bringing in cadres. Those are contracts that which were merely rhetoric kind of contracts. There are many Zambian citizens whose money is sat upon by the Ministry of Local Government, National Roads Fund Agency, and yet foreigners who are given 80%, their monies are paid in an expeditious manner. As a country and as a citizenry, we have a genuine concern that which would like to remove the cadreism from the particular ministries where those contracts are awarded. Because we have a challenge. We are aware the Ministry of Local Government had about 300 contracts in the last 4 months. And of all those 300 contracts, others were paid for supplying nothing, for doing nothing. And the others that are even perceived to be United Party for National Development, whose equipment is still scattered around the country, they are still on site, judiciously believing that even when there will be change of government or not change of government, but they were willing to deliver. And the people that have not even moved to site, their payments were already sorted. So we are saying, as United Party for National Development, just as our president has cautiously taken it upon himself not to carelessly dismantle the public administration processes of this country, you have observed that permanent secretaries are still serving.
Yes.
They will still need to offer their correct position, their correct standing in terms of their job specification and the job description, also their performances, the input funding and the output, and where we stand as a government. We will not carelessly be in the position to do things with excitement.
You've talked about issues of cadreism. The vice chairperson, national chairperson in the opposition Patriotic Front, have labeled the UPND of not having the capacity to remove cadres from markets and bus stations. And others have said the word cadre has been misused because there are thugs that are collecting monies. This morning we were told cadres from the ruling UPND are collecting monies along Rumumba Road. We were told in Chirenje that cadres are still there in markets and they have continued to collect monies. Do you have the capacity, or you've now realized that you can't remove cadres because there are no jobs? So cadres should continue to collect monies.
How many days have we been in power? It has not even been yet 3 weeks. It has not even yet been 2 weeks.
So cadres are still there.
Our president was sworn in on which day, sir? So when you look at the way things are going, the people that are issuing those statements, they risk themselves to be rebelled.
As it?
Those are the people that are perpetuating cadreism in bus stations. The PF, they have changed faster than the missionary who brought the gospel. They are ahead of the missionary who brought the gospel that there's change in this country. They are clad in UPND attire. They have even moved faster than even our provincial chairman, faster than even our district chairman, faster than even our constituency chairman, faster than even our ward chairman. That deputy national PF youth chairperson, he's speaking the truth because their cadres are in the stations.
And you're comfortable with it?
The cadres, we are a party that which wants to coexist with other political parties.
So even if they have continued their behavior, which made Zambians complain about them, to say cadres are abusing us in markets and stations, you are confirming that yes, there are still cadres there in markets
from the PF.
And these are
from the PF cadres. The cadres of the former ruling party are still in the marketplaces. And what we have told our youths that are supervising such activities is that be tolerant but be firm. We were waiting for the Inspector General of Police and his deputy, because we also realized, this I must make a point, we also realized that most of these police stations in Lusaka, you can talk of Kabwata, you can talk of Matero, they are infiltrated by PF cadres. I'm not ashamed to say that. I can say it again just in case you didn't get it. Most of these police stations in Lusaka, you can talk of Kabwata police station, Matero police station. The senior most people that are manning those police stations, except a few individuals, are manned by PF-oriented police officers. It was very difficult for us as United Party for National Development to go and institute a citizen arrest on any cadre. In most cases, even when we went to go and report, we were found to be on the other side of the law. Because the people, why am I saying that? Maybe you need empirical evidence. We have got one of our youths. He was beaten. His eye, completely beyond the hearing, his eye was maimed, completely removed, gouged out in Matero. Taken to a police station. A certain woman who was dealing, a certain officer was dealing with the case, who was an officer in Kurima Tower, because she moves with the PF mentality. The person was put in the cells one day and removed without any charge of assault. Now we have Kabwata police station. Our constituency chairman in Kabwata, Mr. Surwe, the house was destroyed. A person was, the police were told, this is the person who destroyed this house. The person who was an offense, he tells the police that, no, let's follow each other, I'll be driving my car to the police station. And the police are there following. They got the police station. The narrative of the political system in this country, fortunately or unfortunately, we sit very ready to narrate the experiences that which we have seen.
Now that you've mentioned that there are some police stations that are being manned by, PF-oriented, police officers, do you want these police stations to be manned by UPND-oriented police officers?
We wouldn't say we want, we are saying we want the government-minded police officers to man these stations. Because a government officer is impartial. Other people today, they have been rewarded. Other people yesterday, they were rewarded by the amount of impartial service delivery they offer to this country. Even you in the few days ago, you were able, you are UPND. You are seated here, you are able, you are UPND. We cannot have a country where almost everybody, just because you can come and interview Max Chongu here, you can interview Karembe here, we cannot label you that you are PF or opposition. What we expect from the Zambia police leadership is that we are looking forward to a time when, according to the presidential directive, the police must invest a lot in investigations, so that when they do an arrest, it should not be an attempted arrest. It should be something that which falls through to reduce the cost both on the executive and on the judiciary arms of governance, to make sure that if somebody is taken to the courts of law, when a judge looks at the statements and the case being presented before them, they should be able to make an outright decision without being biased.
I'm happy that you've mentioned the appointments that the president has made, and you've put it clear that there are some people that have been awarded or rewarded. It is on record that yesterday we saw the president, announcing or elevating Mr. Bwalia to be the deputy commandant of the correctional facilities, and the opposition have already, debated or added their voice, saying President Hakainde Hichilema is awarding people who served him and not awarding people on merit. Mr. Walia, because for lack of better term, let me just borrow words from what Sean Tembo said, because he was given an extra lamp of shima and he thought this is the high time to reward a man at the expense of competent people. Is this how the appointments are being done as it has been viewed by the opposition, Patriots for Economic Progress, as well as Raphael Nakachinda, that President Hakainde is appointing people on emotions?
Okay, we expect quite a lot from the Zambia police, but their job description and job specification, they know too well, because those are competent men and women that have served this country at the highest levels. Madam Nayame and Mr. Solomon Jere are competent police officers. We are not here to overemphasize on what they can do and what they cannot do. Their professionalism has earned them the status of who they are today. Congratulations to you, lady and the gentleman. I'm at pains, take keen interest. I'm at pains to express myself concerning Patriots for Economic Progress. What is his name?
Sean Tembo.
Sean Tembo.
He was part of the alliance.
Yes.
So
I am at pains to express myself, because for me, I'm a crowd puller. I'm not boasting. I've gone around the country mobilizing for the party for where we are. Sean Tembo cannot do what I have done as a youth leader. So certain people must not criticize by sitting in his bedroom just because maybe he has marital problems, he has other issues in his life.
So even if things are not okay,
no, what is not okay? This is just
checks and balances.
What checks and balances? He doesn't have a councillor, doesn't have an MP. He has been struggling all his political life. So the best thing is he takes that name for his political party, and he should name his farm or his pets he keeps at his house. Okay? He should name his pets he keeps at his house, because he has failed. The man is a failed project. His political party is failed beyond reasonable doubt.
Former water sanitation minister Raphael Nakachinda has also added the voice. Don't you want divergent views from
we
the
appreciate divergent views
also so that you can govern this country better? He says these appointments that are being done by President Hakainde Hichilema are emotional, because he's awarding people that, you know, favored him the time that he was in prison.
The good thing that which we can thank the president is that even me is not my elder brother, he's not my cousin, but we supported him all through and through, based on the fact that he's a straightforward man and he cannot be corrupted. So the corrupt individuals, the corrupt millions in this population, minority, the corrupt minority, and the people that use their stomachs to think like Raphael Nakachinda, that man, he has got all he can do to make sure that he can say anything negative about UPND's leadership. Because the man was picked from the drainage and he was brought to become a minister of water and sanitation, a portfolio that which me I can run properly because I'm a public health. I've been to school. I know the water parameters better. Yes. So when you look at the Patriotic Front government, it was awarding cadres. That is the reason why professional people like Emmanuel Chenda, they are coming. They're joining the UPND. But it would have also been better if the people that are joining the UPND now would have joined us before the elections. But we're not saying we are refusing divergent views. We welcome all other divergent views and the positive criticism. These people like Raphael Nakachinda, if I was given an opportunity to become a Republican president, I can't even give him a DC position. I can't give him. Yes, I can't give him. Maybe a driver. Even a driver, maybe that one who just polishes the tires of the vehicle. These people, they have had no CVs to their names. You are a professional. The man behind the camera is a professional. Remember, this victory was brought about by the youths. And our president has recognized that. We are not jokers. are not jokers. In unity of faith with many other youths that are out there, Mr. Chifokoro, and the fellow youths out there, in unity of our faith, we have effected the change, the Zambia we want. And out of everything that which we can be able to do together, is that we cannot expect a politician, a careless politician who was given 10 years to eat. Those are betrayers. They failed to win for Rungu. He has the biggest answer. Those are the betrayers.
There are politicians that have, or political parties that have said they are going to offer checks and balances. So far, with the few weeks that President Hakainde Hichilema has been in charge of the country and, you know, discharging his mandate as president, how do you rate the checks and balances that have been coming from the opposition in this country?
Well, any opposition this far that has been able to comment on the political scenario means that they are not well vested with political matters. In a football team, how many players play?
You have the starting 11.
11, yes. So if you have only the 11 players, you don't have the other 11 to compete with. It means that there's only one team in the field. So as it stands, the president has not finished putting in place his cabinet. The president is cautiously doing what is right to the expectations of the Zambians. One of the key things that which must be mentioned here is that UPND has been in existence for 23 years. That being the case, we have had a lot of bitter lessons and sweet lessons to learn. There is an adage in English that says, a wise man learns from the mistakes of others. Then we will not be able to overemphasize the importance of our lectures and the lessons we have learned. Amidst brutality, amidst arrests, amidst beatings, we have been learning and gathering lessons. And it is in those very lessons, one of the key lessons we have learned is that if you have observed the celebration mood of the UPND, it is something that which is well appreciated. It is balanced. It is inclusive. The PF would have been celebrating to even coming here, coming and telling you that, oh no, you can't even wear a t-shirt in this town. All the Chitenge materials for PF, they have been campaigning. But anyway, glory be to the people of Zambia. The people of Zambia cannot be bought. The people of Zambia, they have proved beyond reasonable doubt. There are only two groups of people in this country. One is Zambia, and the second one is Kabata constituency. Kabata constituency, no matter what you have, don't stand in Kabata Wamdara. No matter what you have. In 2006, there was a political election. GBM lost to give Rubinda. It has repeated itself. Zambians, no matter what you give them, if they have made up their mind, what Zambians are looking for is a safe environment, both at home, markets, bus stations, and the respect for human life. And
up to now, they are not safe because cadres are still there. And you're in charge of young people.
As a youth leader, I can tell you comfortably here where I sit, that we are not going to take any step of a joker anymore. If jokers were there to do anything funny or stupid they did, that was the last season they did. We have heard the PF is regrouping. We have been tolerant. Not that we are naive, no. We want to coexist with them. We have been seeing them wearing, they are in the markets. They are saying, no, kadarism yativuta, still ufuna makadazi muno. And yet the person speaking is wearing a PF t-shirt. We have been over-tolerant. We are following the presidential directive, mind you. But we don't want to get the law and put it in our own armpits, not in our hands, like the PF did. We will be able to do what is right at the right time.
Let's talk about something that you're calling Zambians face, contracts and cadreism. You've accused the Patriotic Front or past administration that there were cadres who are not supplying anything, but were being paid, and there are those that were supplying but were being paid faster than those who are not aligned to the Patriotic Front. How do you intend to do it differently now that you are in power as UPND, and as a youth leader, how are you going to see to it that young people who've got companies are given contracts not based on them aligning themselves to UPND, but because they're Zambians?
First of all, I would like to say thank you. The position of awarding contracts is a complicated position. We have spoken to a lot of stakeholders in that process. Of course, me as a politician, with all due respect, if I'm to put myself there, I will fail to become impartial. There will be yes, there will be professional people who will be appointed and who will have terms of reference to that effect. This victory that which our president has gotten, His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, is not only for the UPND. We have termed this victory for the Zambian people. And that being the case, you can also tell from his appointments that the man is exceptionally inclusive. As far as we are concerned, we want to run a government system that which is inclusive. So even the giving of the contracts, we promise the Zambian people that we will give them a very equal share of the national cake in terms of development, in terms of awards of contracts. We will not be biased. But we are aware of the PF cadres that were at the DMMU. They got some contracts. And yet me, I'm 40 years where I sit here. I will never surprise even for one kwacha. You can imagine. The only supply I have supplied is to be put in the sales.
Maybe you don't have a company. How can you supply?
We registered companies even way before. I've been running business for 15, 18 years. What are you talking about? We've been running businesses for 15, 18 years.
Maybe you don't apply.
Even when, we can give you example, practical examples. We live in this country. We live in this country. We have had insincere comrades. We had insincere friends who were politicized. If it were in a church term, instead of being born again, they were born against. People that you would agree with them and say, oh, no, when I get there, they are there, they are watching us. They are seeing what I'm saying right now. Others promised us. Others were in the army. Others were in the Zambia Air Force. Immediately they were appointed. They changed. It's true. Behavior, and it is now that we don't want, as UPND, to portray ourselves so, or to act in such a manner. Look, I've got my comrade there, senior comrade, Mr. Morgan Munda. His support has been there. Time and again, our vice president is being insulted by a police officer in Ruapura. He was there, calling the system there, saying, no, why are you doing such things to the opposition? We are looking for Zambians who will be able to recognize when a wrong is done, not because of a political affiliation. We are looking for Zambians who will be fair and just enough, not only looking at the top change and reshuffles that which have been made by the president. You are a director of finance at Ministry of Defense. You are a director of finance at Zambia Air Force. You are a director of finance in Zambia Police. You are a director of procurement. At any level of directorship in governance of this country, we want a clean service delivery, that which is free of corruption. The expectations of the Zambian people are clear. The writing is on the wall. We don't want, as UPND, to be rebelled. That is a government that we failed.
When you talk about inclusiveness, what do you mean by saying you want to run, or President H wants to run a government that is inclusive? Are you saying the PF were not being inclusive? And what sort of inclusiveness are you talking about, or are we going to see under the UPND administration?
I want to ask you something, that which you, the media, have data. In the previous regime of the Patriotic Front government, Are you aware that in the Northwestern there was no this social cash transfer? Are you aware? I was in Chavuma. I asked the aged people. Zimbongo zabantu hananga social cash transfer kushatwama ngwabo pimbi. I was in Minirunga. I asked about social cash transfer. Social cash transfer was only taken to areas where the PF was strong. And they politicized it. They gave a different narrative. They said the PF and the president, they are giving you this money. And yet that was donor money. That is what we talk about, lack of inclusiveness. From the village where I come from, in Joma, our road to Masuku Mission last tested a grader in 1992. I will speak for the people in Chimbamironga, Kwansama, kwa Mipundu, kuya kwa Munununu, kukashikishikankamfi. You look at those areas, the roads were last graded in 1982. So, we had politicians who really wanted to push the political agenda for their names to be heard. And yet, they meant nothing to the Zambian people good at all. As if that is not enough. You have got a road which can even work as a shortcut from Kondwerani in Katete, which comes through Chief Katumba. It goes as inside road up to Panyimba. That inside road, if it were graded, it passes through Chieftainess Mwanjabantu, kwa Boxeni huko, iyo kuchikarawa, kwa Petros huko. Those roads, as if that's not where the president was coming from. It is lack of understanding. He picked his classmates, his people the drink mates, the former president, he picked his classmates, the drink mates, they came and sat down. He forgot about the ground troopers, the people that understand the narrative and the comprehension of the people on the grassroots level. I'm not here to market myself or to position myself for any ministerial position. My work, I feel it has been done because we have delivered a president at our stage in the books of the history of this country. If people want to ignore and remove Trevor Mwiinde from the fact that this boy campaigned, using the meager resources that which were at our disposal, using the few connections and contacts like yourself, the cameraman, and a few others well-wishers out there, friends of ours, and friends of the party, our families, we sacrificed to fight a corrupt regime. In fact, to call it a regime, a corrupt regime, it could even be like maybe we are praising it. This is PF was a militant organization. PF was an organization, a militia, that which are the soldiers that were full of commanders, people that could go and do almost anything they wanted, could come to a police station and beat a police officer. As we assure the policemen, who give them the much needed respect. Moving on,
there is something that the president mentioned, and as young people, I don't know the feeling of young people. There are those, civil servants we have seen in the Zambia police. When you look at the IG, the deputies, are people that were retired by the then administration under President Edgar Lungu, but now they have been recalled or reinstated and given those positions. Are you not worried as a young person that you are representing a cadre of young people, but young people are not being elevated? Old people who are retired are the ones that are coming back. What is it that is there for young people? If old people are the ones that are being reinstated, when are the young people going to be given an opportunity to serve this country?
Comrade Chifokoro, ask me questions that which will not put me in pains to express myself to my president. However, with all due respect to your question, I'll answer it in this way. It would have been a different narrative if State House Deputy Inspector General of Police was being reinstated and the Kampion was Home Affairs Minister. It would have not happened. It would have been a different narrative if Kanganja was IG. One of the two would have said, no, I can't work. What we are looking forward, others, those that were dismissed, their cases are in the courts of law. Others are even bedridden. Even, yes, the presidential declaration of saying people must be reinstated. I think there is need to have a case-by-case approach. Because certain other people, let's say somebody was fired as a deputy permanent secretary or PS or officer in charge. Immediately those people were fired, their positions were repressed. So even if the people decided to say, let's go back and take those positions, they will find themselves roaming in the corridors. Our appeal and the request to the Republican president is that, yes, there is a need to have a professional body constituted, a commission of inquiry to bring about the truth as to why people were being dismissed. The policemen who were dismissed in Kamfinsa, certain other policemen, teachers that have been transferred away from their husbands, clinic officers, nurses inclusive. If a commission of inquiry is set up, indeed it will bring about the truth of why. And the future will hold us in high esteem because answers would have been provided and such tendencies and behaviors will be curtailed forever. It is within the powers and prerogatives of the president to do such an action, because not only did such occurrences happen in the public sector, even in the private sector, people are being sidelined. People are being told, no, you are not connected to the government, you out, let me bring somebody. And the worst of being sidelined like that by foreigners. So we are appealing to our Republican president that as a youth leader, the levels of inhuman treatment, degradation, dehumanizing experiences, disrespect, incoherent activities and actions towards one another, they reached an alarming level. And it is in line with that, it will just be prudent to have a commission of inquiry put in place so that such vices and activities are curtailed forever in this country.
You are a young person and you are representing a cadre of young people, and now you are hinting or you are calling on the president and his administration to set up a commission of inquiry. When you are in the opposition and other opposition leaders or political parties cried foul on a number of commissions of inquiries that were set up, starting with the president, the former president Michael Chiufyasata, even President Edgar Chagwa Lungu, we saw a commission of inquiry being set up to look at the voting pattern, and a lot of money were spent. The president has made it clear that he has inherited a country that has got empty coffers, and you, as a young person, you're proposing that you should have a commission of inquiry when the opposition, when you are in the opposition and the other opposition political party leaders, cried foul that commissions of inquiries are just a sheer waste of money because no tangible results or action is taken.
A commission of inquiry, its value is also seen from its importance at its inception. This is a commission of inquiry that which will move in tandem with the motto we have, the One Zambia, One Nation. It is a commission of inquiry that which would stand to heal the wounds of the past, to bring,
we are going to spend
to bring about what is expenditure when you are healing. This is not a luxury. We have had commissions of inquiry where Winter Kabimba was involved to look at the cost of fuel and the issues of fuel. Those commissions of inquiry on the ERB, they have not brought any results to this country.
And you are proposing
we
for
don't
more.
forget now what we are proposing. Other youths out there and women folk, they have been sidelined. They have been put kuaya, if you like it, on the basis of their political affiliation. But we want to walk the talk. Looking at our president, Hakainde Hichilema, His Excellency, him being a judicious man, a man who believes in truth beyond the facts. We believe that a proposal to have a commission of inquiry to look into the ills of this past regime will do him a lot of service, because the FIC will be involved, DEC will be involved, Anti-Corruption Commission will be involved, so that those people are also given an extra mandate to execute through the courts of law judiciously, to make sure that everything moves in line. I pity ACC in Zambia. He was doing nothing all these past years. They could coach Taruchi Rufia. No, the person who was investigating, he has disappeared, is dead. I pity DEC. They are working under very tough conditions. No, we are here, Musieni.
And Mr. Mwiinde, there are calls that if you are going to spend time, you know, more, and he is a former minister, and now he was re-elected as member of parliament. He said, if you are going to spend time going back to issues that were, you know, sorted out by the PF administration, you are going to waste more time looking at
that former minister. What is his name?
Honorable Stephen Kampion. He said, what we expect.
How can he have 80 recruits go to Zambia police, him alone? Shame on him. 80 recruits are his relatives going to Zambia police recruitment training.
And he said,
shame on him.
Moving forward, you need to open a new chapter, because that would be considered as witch hunting.
No, it's not
like government to witch hunt. Even issues that you are done and dusted, instead of you moving forward as your friends.
We have moved in tandem with the Zambian people, and there's nothing that which we can say we can come into governance of this great country, Zambia, to try and revenge on a man like Kampiongo, who was given the mandate by the Zambian people. Kampiongo came into power. He was not even a provincial leader before. There were political appointments, cadres who were appointed from Katondo Street to become a Home Affairs minister, without any credentials to his name except maybe a birth certificate. Then the people, when they came on the stage and on the platform of leadership, they failed to humble themselves, because they had nothing to lose but all to gain. We have got family, we have got people that were better than us even in class. We move the corridors of power and on this earth in a humble way, knowing too well that, oh, there is a cameraman, I need to give him a chance. Or there is an interviewer, I need to give him a chance. They made us sit on the desks, the chairs, stand up in public, signing agreements which they could not honor, fooling the citizenry of this country. We want to redesign and redirect our country and know where we went wrong. It's not only him alone. There were tribal chanters. The Commission of Inquiry will make recommendations as to how future actions will be taken. Do we need to have a person who has only nothing to offer but tribal and hate speech be given a platform in the political scenario? Because if we are to go forward as a country, looking at you, knowing too well, just as myself, I've not married my sister. We've married other people's children. Can now somebody walk into the political platform, disadvantage you, but start speaking about your tribe and where you come from? We are appealing to the president through the very avenues we are proposing. The Commission of Inquiry, to incriminate tribal talkers, and they must be jailed without even any police bond.
Even when the president has, yesterday when he was swearing in the Deputy Inspector General of Police and the Commissioner General of Correctional Facilities, he said we need to decongest our prisons or correctional facilities as well as cells. And you are here as a young person, as a leader of the young people, proposing that people should be jailed. Is it not? Are you not contradicting the head of state?
I am a youth, and the experiences that which I've gone through are not very different from what my president has gone through.
And he's saying we should decongest the correction facilities.
And the president speaks as a national leader.
And you're speaking.
I'm not here to water down his conversation with the nation. I'm here representing the impact of the careless talk of the tribal talkers and the haters this country has had.
And your proposal,
because just somebody was given a contract to supply face masks, these face masks, because they are given a contract to supply these face masks, does not give them a right to start insulting and castigating where you come from. Eat your money, if you made the money in politics, with respect. Most of these people, they came in this politics to drive a Land Cruiser for the first time. We've been driving Land Cruisers even in opposition. That is why I agree with the State Council Musa Mwiinde, who said that we must have lifestyle audit in this country if this country is to go forward. We have had the people that had taken the leadership of this country as if it is one of their body parts that which they treasure so much. Not to be provocative, not anything private, as if it is their nose or their ear or their eye, but the amount of care I take to clean my eyes, clean my nose and my ear. If people were mindful, this country would have not been where it is today.
Moving forward, we have seen illegalities have continued in this country, and I know that earlier on you said for how long has President H been in power, but we've seen that Mukula has continued, to be harvested in this country, and we saw this week and part of last week in Western Province trucks laden with the Mukula trees being, impounded. As young people in this country, what are we doing about that?
We are well aware that the Mukura tree business has pressed certain people to be in a very advantaged position than others. These are certain incongruencies that which our president has vowed to correct. Amongst them, the president has said concessions shall be given to Zambians and this timber shall be processed to finished goods. Unlike the panic mood that which we have seen in this country, where the Chinese have come and they have given out some money to certain individuals, and these individuals are breaking the law. They have gone to cut timber even beyond their concessions, causing a lot of harm to the natural resources pattern of this country. It's very unfortunate that many of our youths in this country, especially in areas where this Mukura is harvested from, they do not actually benefit. They only benefit money for loading the timber into the trucks. It's very unfortunate. We are aware. We are not mincing words. They are gone are the days when we were hiding. Tasira Lungu. the Chawama,
and she's not here to defend herself.
No. There was videos. The time when we were in opposition, we were being told like that. And the people you were debating with, sir, people you were debating with that time, you could silence them. You could silence us because an opposition could say, oh no, we'll go to bed just like that. I don't want God to judge me wrongly. If I have a name to mention, allow me to mention it's not you or
if
Muvi
you
TV.
have evidence, it's better you take.
No, this is not a court. I don't believe this is not a court. What evidence are you looking for?
The people that you are mentioning are not.
We are saying those are the people that have benefited from the Mukura money.
And they are not here to defend themselves.
And their connections are well known. And if they think that His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema is going to allow those illegalities, we are aware of even the directorate at forestry. We are aware of all the deals. We are very much aware.
And you've allowed this to continue.
We were in opposition and we spoke. Ours was to speak. Now time has come that the powers that be giving us the space to work with them. I don't want to be the only person that speaks against others in the government. But we want to do correct things to make sure that we salvage the economy for the benefit of many other youths out there, and even unborn children, those people that are dealing in Mukura, and those cadres that have taken themselves that they are able to do because maybe they gave somebody a 10,000, because maybe they gave somebody a 20,000. It's unfortunate, Mr. Chifokoro, our government is not corrupt, and the leadership of the UPND.
That is yet to be seen. Mr. Mwiinde, I know that time is not with us.
No, we will not allow it.
But
we've been in opposition in 23 years. You want us to come on the stage to be corrupt, to start sharing paychecks with the people that have been dancing with the ministers. We will not allow that. We're not here to do that.
Mr. Mwiinde, we've seen the 2 days that have passed, members of parliament being sworn in, and we have seen maybe for the first time majority young people taking oath to defend the constitution as well as to save the Zambian people and support the president. As a young person and a leader of the young people, what do you expect to see from young people that took oath yesterday and others today to say they are going to be to save this country with the utmost respect and diligence that is required?
Expectations are theirs in their own heads as they were swearing in. I wish them good luck, and I believe that they will be able to toe within the lines of the expectations of many Zambians that voted for them. Mine was a specific duty to support and campaign for the presidency. In terms of youthful members of parliament, we congratulate them and we offer our full support to make sure that their dreams come true in line with the Zambian constitution. And as citizens of this land, my belief, my cry, is that we shall continue sharing on such platforms and exchanging ideas, educating and entertaining Zambians, making sure that we fulfill the social liberties, which is freedom of expression, without any fear or favor. We are now on this other divide. You were accusing us when we were in opposition that we don't want you to start shunning interviews. I have not sat at ZNBC to talk about things that which you have spoken here. You have been an ally, a progressive ally. We want to thank you and commend you for the great work you have done. You have been not as an individual, but as an institution. So when it comes to those youthful members of parliament, we want them to be focused, disciplined, as we write the correct narrative of what we have struggled for. Our struggle must not be in vain. We are looking forward to have genuine members of parliament who are not going to sell our party UPND and our presidents, as the case has been for the PF. I thank you.
I know that directors told me that we still have about 5 minutes or so. Issues to do with defections. We have seen people, you know, some who belong to the former ruling party now, the PF, you know, joining the UPND. And also the president mentioned that he has forgiven most of those that, you know, he treated people. And yesterday he clarified that his stance of forgiving people was, you know, misunderstood by people, saying now he has gone to bed with the corrupt, but those that stole from the Zambian people will have to pay back. As a young person, what, apart from the commission of inquiry, how quick or what sort of method should this administration use to make sure that those that stole from the Zambian people, in inverted commas, you know, pay back to the Zambian people, if at all it's going to be possible?
We remember that even the case in point was GBM wanted to go back to the PF. They gave him a specific period before he could hold any position. So I think there must be a vetting system in place. We cannot refuse people to join the United Party for National Development. We were telling people that it's a part of choice. We spent a lot of energy. Only God knows how much sweat. Only God knows how much energy. Only God knows how much insults and how much negative responses we received. But finally, the narrative has turned in our favor. And that being the case, we will not fold our arms when somebody is extending his arm. We will hold hands with every other willing Zambian as long as their mindset is clear with the expectations of the Zambian people. We have not come into leadership to eat. As the other gentleman was saying, the president is rewarding people based on an extra lamp of Shima. The prison award, by the way, in prison does not give Shima. It is only now that if he's not careful, that the person who was saying like that is going to experience who gives the Shima in prison. If he goes on carelessly, talking against...
Is that a threat?
I'm giving him the fair share of a response. It's not a threat. I'm not the Minister of Home Affairs. I'm not the Kampion. If you want to take it that way, take it that way. Yes, I'm giving him a fair share. I'm speaking with authority that if that man continues on that careless trajectory, trying to bring teasing jokes to our Republican president, as youths will not take it kind upon him.
And you don't have power, you are not the authority.
Excuse me, sir. If he feels that he is going to have it, we were not playing jokes with President Edgar Chagwarungu. I don't know whether you heard me. It's on record, on television. So the fact that he was nominated into parliament must not give him a chamber right to start speaking anyhow and anything to our president. We have struggled to brand and bring the product Againde Ichirema to where he is today. So that man must not take it away from the Zambian people.
Are people going to pay back if at all there are people that store now that they are jumping?
The president has not cut any deals. It was in the Diggers newspaper today. The president has not cut any deals with nobody. So those that have done any wrong, they have not done any wrong to Trevor or to the president or any member of parliament or sympathizer or supporter of the UPND. But they have done wrong to the country. And they must be accountable because we are sons and children of the soil. So it's just normal that we must be accountable.
And those that are joining the UPND, how are they going to answer or pay back now that they are with the ruling party?
Joining the United Party for National Development must not be a confessional prayer that your sins are forgiven. Joining the UPND must not be a confession prayer that your sins are forgiven.
And if they are to be convicted, they'll be convicted as UPND members, is it?
They will be convicted as former Patriotic Front members.
Now
the narrative will still, if you are called a devil's advocate, you are a devil's advocate. Even if you are born again. Yes. Yes. A former Satanist has repented. A former thief has repented. So even after repentance, There are certain processes. You cannot just outrightly become a bishop. You need to go through the processes, a choir, a member of a certain grouping, intercessor, not until you climb through the ladders. But we have seen these people, they want to repent today and go and stand on the pulpit to start teaching us how there is a culture of how things are done. Yes, you may see UPND as a weak organization, but we are aware of our challenges. And we will not be able to chase away people. We are an attractive organization right now. We want to say big kudos to many Zambians that took out their monies, took out their vehicles, took out their fuel to support us on many errands across the country. On my own as Trevor Mwiinde, and on our own as a political party, would have not reached this far. So we want to tell them, those that are joining now, don't join the UPND because you feel you will receive protection from the cases that which you committed. Kumene mwenzo diera, stenzeko. Kumene mwenzo bera, stenzeko. Kumene mwenzo cheat, stenzeko. So we will not be there to protect anybody, but we will give you room. It's just like in your house, you don't know, you receive a person. He says, no, I am looking for shelter, it's raining. And then the police come and say, we are looking for this person. Do you have power to say no? Because he's in my house, you can't get him. Do you?
Mr. Trevor, thank you so much for making an appearance on the special interview.
We are humbled.
And wishing you all the best.
We are humbled to the Zambian people for voting for our president. He's the man of the moment. Our wishes, I know we have buried a lot of people. Comrades on the Copper Belt and every other part of this country. I want to thank you, dear citizens, for listening to us and having accorded us your attention. We thank the Muvi television. We thank you too, Mr. Chifokoro. You have stood the test of time amidst suspicions that you are UPND. Now we want also to see how beneficial it is to be accused that you are UPND. May God bless Zambia.
Thank you so much. There you have it. This has been the special interview on your channel of Choice Movie TV today, Thursday, and I've been discussing the issue of in the new dawn, what is there for the young people. You've heard it for yourself. My guest has been Trevor Mwiinde, who is a Deputy National Youth Chairperson in charge of politics and mobilization. On behalf of Mavuto Piri, the producer and the director of the show, Christopher Mvola, as well as Obvious Kapundo. On the cameras, Trobish Kono Kapalu upstairs and Gabriel Mlenga. Thank you so much, guys. My name is Kelvin Tabula Chifokolo. Until next time.
Hello, wake up.